Most people that move to North Carolina, they get it wrong the first time. Browsing the internet and they start seeing houses they kind of like, and well, the idea gets in their head, maybe we should move. But they don't really think about the logistics of it all, especially when it comes to having a house to sell before you can buy. So in this video, I thought I'd give you 4 real ways that my real clients have made the move from other states to North Carolina. Some are creative, some are definitely more stressful, and some are a lot easier if you can pull it off. Challenge number 1, you're in a whole other state. That means you can't just pop over for showings or sit across the table from your banker or even talk to an attorney that face-to-face. Here in North Carolina, we have due diligence money, non-refundable. That's a whole nother video in itself. We also have shorter inspections than a lot of other states. Typically we see 10 to 15 days when other states might have 30 with a 60-day close. Our normal closing time is 30 days. So you really have to factor that in when you have another house to sell in another state. While you're doing all that, you're also looking for movers for your current house. You're making sure you're financing and all your paperwork has been submitted through that, because heaven forbid your loan fall through. Maybe you're changing jobs or somebody's looking for a job. You're changing schools, trying to get those rug rats in somewhere. You don't want to be dummies. And I know all this can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we're going to break it down to make it super simple. Second thing is, chances are you got a house that you got to sell first. Most people need the equity from the first house to be in order to buy the second house. Now, if you don't need it, that is great, but not everybody can swing that. I've had people from out of state that said, hey, we're going to make an offer, but it's contingent on our house selling, thinking that, well, if their house don't sell, then no harm, no foul. It doesn't work that way in North Carolina. I compare it to dominoes. One domino out of place and nothing keeps going forward. But when communication is strong between your current agent, your agent in North Carolina, your lenders, your appraisers, and attorneys, those dominoes fall a whole lot easier. Like I said before, here in North Carolina, we typically get about 30 to 45 days to close. Now, with you having another house to sell, you might need some more wiggle room. There is 7 days built into the contracts that you can extend. But 7 days ain't a whole lot if something was to go horribly wrong. When you're making an offer here in North Carolina, typically we see higher due diligence amounts. I don't know how it works in your state, but here in North Carolina, that is not refundable. Got more questions about that? Give me a shout. That could be anywhere from a few $100, not typical. Right now we're seeing $1,500, $2,500, but I've seen 10, 20, 30, even $100,000 in non-refundable deposits. Property taxes are another thing here in North Carolina that you could be shocked about. We're really low compared to some of the other states. I've talked to people that come from New York, and when I tell them the property tax, they think that's per month instead of for the whole year. But once you have this knowledge and understand how things work, you can plan ahead and have a smooth transition into North Carolina. Hey, if you're loving this, I'd love it if you would give me a like and a subscribe down below so I know what kind of videos you want to see more of. All right, so let's talk about these 4 different ways that my clients have actually made the move with contingent houses and moved to North Carolina. Number 1 is they did a sell, then rent back. So they sold their current home, and obviously you have to have the right buyer for this, but that buyer of their current home allowed them to lease the home back for 30 to 60 days to give them ample time to find a new home here in North Carolina. The downside to this is that it really is going to limit your buyer pool of what you have to choose from on the house you're selling, because not everybody is going to be able to or want to lease back to you. Strategy number 2 is sell, then find temporary furnished housing here in North Carolina. I've had people use Airbnb and Furnish Finder. This way it allows you to move and not even have to unpack. You can, if you have one of the pods or some other kind of moving service, you can keep your stuff stored, ready to go. So when you do find the perfect house, you only unload once. The con is that Airbnb can add up, or Furnish Finder, either one. Some of these extended stay places can be kind of expensive and pricey if you have to end up staying longer than you expected. Also, if you're trying to live out of boxes, it can get pretty old. Does one of these 2 first situations fit what might work for you? What are your plans to move to North Carolina? Leave a comment down below and let everybody know what's your plan to get from point A to point B. Strategy number 3, and what most people end up doing, is taking multiple trips to North Carolina. They visit areas they think they're interested in, and then they visit some other areas that they may have learned about from the first trip. Some people are surprised when they get to where they think they want to move to and find out it isn't as hot as they liked. Or they get to some of the bigger metros and find out the prices aren't exactly what they want. I love this way versus the other two because you actually get to experience it more. It's like a bunch of mini vacations. You're here, your feet are on the ground, you're actually in the neighborhood that you want to live in. You see the streets, you see the areas, you see the restaurants, you see the shopping, you see the grocery stores. You see what it's like before you really start digging in and looking hard. But again, cons, this can add up. If you're a long ways away and not just one state away, the cost of gas and lodging and food, especially food, can really start to add up. Also, if you're here planning to find a house and then go back and list your house, well, then you've got a lot of timing that has to be ready to go. Your house has to be ready to list before you leave and have a realtor in mind. Also, you might even want to have pictures. Like, it can be done, but you better have, as we talked about before, those dominoes better be ready to go. Because you'll find a lot of sellers here, if you're competing with somebody that doesn't have a contingent offer, it's going to make it a lot tougher for you. Now, strategy number 4 is by far the smoothest. That is if you can swing it. Not everybody can. If you can come to North Carolina, find that perfect house, buy that perfect house, then go back home, get your home ready to sell. Because depending on finances, you can take your time packing up your things, get your house really ready to list, get it sold, and then make the move as slow or as fast as you want because you've already got a home waiting for you here in North Carolina. Now the con, if it isn't obvious, is you're going to have potentially, if the first house isn't paid for, 2 mortgages. Not everybody can swing that. And also you want to take into account, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and talk to a realtor in your area to see what the average days on market is until you actually close or go under contract. If you're in a slower market, maybe North Carolina's a faster market, if you're expecting a 30-day close and your home might have to stay on the market for a little while longer. And you know, you're making 2 mortgage payments for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, potentially, if you're in a slower market. This is where planning ahead really comes in key if you're planning to do this strategy. So how do you put it all together? Well, number 1 is figure out where you want to be. I've had, I don't know how many people that, hey, I want to move to North Carolina. Well, is that a coast, a Piedmont, or the mountains? North Carolina is a fairly big state, and I don't cover all of it. I would love to if you want to pay for me a private jet, but probably not going to happen. The reason it's important to narrow down is because we can't cover everywhere. There's multiple listing services or MLSs in our state. Not every house is in my area. Doesn't mean I can't show it. It just means that I need a little bit more time to schedule it and talk to the agent on the phone to get it scheduled. Step 2 is to get your current home ready to put on the market. Whether that's decluttering, getting pictures, talking to an agent, it's important to have it ready to go ASAP. Doesn't mean you need to necessarily have it on the market right when you go, but it needs to be able to hit the market at the drop of a hat should you find that perfect house. Step 3 is have that transition plan. Are we looking at Airbnb or Furnish Finder? Are we looking at a lease back? Heck, are we looking at going to live with relatives that live here in North Carolina for short term? Or are we looking at buying first and then selling our current home? Number 4, once you have it narrowed down where you want to be, get on an automated search with an agent here in North Carolina, hopefully me. These automated searches, just because we don't have anything right now that might match your criteria, if you get on an automated search through the MLS, it'll alert you ASAP, even if it's midnight, when that home that matches your criteria hits the market. That way you can potentially be the first one in the door. Speaking of first one in the door, just because it's coming soon doesn't mean we can't go ahead and schedule showings. Now, we can't sneak you in there, but we can go ahead and get it on schedule so that you're the first one. Sometimes the first offer is the one they take. Having all these dominoes lined up is what's important. It's when you don't plan ahead when people are left scrambling. If you're moving to North Carolina or anywhere for that matter, go ahead and get your mover lined up ASAP. Go ahead and get on their schedule. They can book months in advance, and especially if they're across state lines movers, they could be expensive or vary widely thousands of dollars. If you're thinking about moving to North Carolina, I'd love to talk to you. My contact info is down below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a video.